yeah, I think we can go do some community questions and start with an easy one. Cooper, I think he also used to work at Hedera and is now part of the team at Galaxy. He's asking, how are you doing and what can the community do for you?
Oh, I am doing really well. I am just so excited to see everything that's been going on. And what can the community do? Do what you're doing now, getting involved. This HIP process is extremely exciting to me that's actually working, that people are actually getting involved in it. Right now, we have people that create a HIP, which is like an RFC for the internet. It's a proposal for something that should be added to Hedera. And then the community will submit one. And then the community will argue about it and refine it and come up with a better solution. And then the council approves it and it gets built. And I'm excited about that. I'm excited about the community building all these things on top of us. I understand that we just announced the HBAR Foundation a few days ago, and they're already getting hundreds of applications for grants. That's great. Do that. Build real things of value on top of Hedera. Go to places where you can get grants and get grants. This is exciting. And watch things like you. I appreciate what you're doing. I think the community needs to tune into people like you, and this is fantastic. It's a real service because what you are in the middle of is an incredibly exciting industry that's changing the world. And so learn everything you can. Watch people like you. That's what I would say.
I really, really appreciate it. Yeah, and I think my role is also, I mean, obviously crypto is a very noisy, fast-moving industry. A lot of people, you know, and there are opportunities to make money in crypto, of course. Lots of people also come for the speculation and those kind of things. I think that's all fine. But I think to understand, at least that helped me 4 years ago when I started in this industry, is to first understand the big picture, where this could be headed if we all kind of like contribute at least a little bit to it, right? And we can slightly get to a more decentralized world. Like I said earlier, we'll have CBDCs in 10, 20, 30 years from now. So from a decentralization aspect, maybe, you know, if the big players remain the big players, we might not like fully decentralize everything, but at least we can get a little bit closer to it, right? I think that's already a big win and a net positive. Also in that context, I forgot to talk about this earlier with you. The HBAR Foundation, which was just announced, they allocated, I think, 10 point something billion HBARs, which at the time is something like $4 or $5 billion. Absolutely crazy. So how involved are you in that? And what are the things that you're looking forward? I don't know, maybe as a first kind of like big milestone that they could achieve.
Yes. So the simple answer really is that I'm not involved. This is truly becoming decentralized, more and more decentralized. This is a foundation that we are funding. And you mentioned a large amount. Half of it goes to the foundation. Half of it will be for other ecosystem things, maybe other foundation, or not foundations, but other projects. But half of it's going to the foundation. And the foundation has its own staff. They're doing their own things. And their goal is to build the HBAR ecosystem. They're called the HBAR Foundation, but to build this ecosystem that uses Hedera. And I'm extremely excited about them. And I just think what they're doing is fantastic. And the council approved this big grant to them because the council believes in them. And they are independent of us. So, you know, how much influence do I have there? Well, none. And I think that's great. It's the way things should be.
Yeah, and it also underlines what we talked about in the very beginning, in terms of kind of like Hedera's path to decentralization, right? I think that's another piece in the puzzle, basically. A question from HBAR Caesar. He's asking, what do you think about the current regulatory climate and how will Hedera fare through it?
Yes, so I think the same thing everyone else thinks. We have a lack of clarity, and I won't even share all the horror stories because I'm sure your listeners are very aware of horror stories right now. Yeah. There is a lack of clarity. I am optimistic that at some point we will have clarity and that things will improve over the next couple of years. But right now there's a tremendous lack of clarity, and maybe some countries are better and some are worse. But there's a great deal of lack of clarity. We have done everything we can from the very beginning to do everything the right way, to be compliant, to be correct, to be as far as we can guess what they want, to give them what they want. Everything we've done is trying to be above board and to be doing things the right way. And we will continue to do that. We continue to talk with people. We continue to make decisions, trying to do things the right way. And we continue with others to simply ask, please give more clarity. And I think that will come.